Hello. Hey girls, hello. Do you hear us? Ayan.
Ayan. Hi girls! Well, we're excited to be here for our first official module.
Yes, and I hope you're as excited as us because we prepared a lot of lessons for you girls. So you better make sure that you have your notebook and pen with you because you're gonna be taking down a lot of notes.
We hope that you're doing well in the last 2 weeks since we talked to you all with your life at home during this time. Me and Nicole actually went through your submissions and we got to know you all a little bit better through them, and we'll be discussing those a little bit later. But first, our topic for today's module is personal branding and empowering others through social media. So why did we choose this topic? Seeing as the pageant in a typical, usual form is undertaken on a stage, but now that that is not possible, our stage is now social media. And we know that through some of your submissions, some of you said, oh, I'm not really social media savvy, I'm not a social media person, but we have to come to see it as now in the age of 2020, social media is our new stage. And so what can we do to put our best foot forward? How can we be impactful? How can we be positive through social media?
So for this workshop, we have created a campaign as well. It is hashtag I am Binibini. And as you can see, girls, na last time yung assignment na binigay namin sa inyo is hindi namin kayo restrict because we want to see you as you first. And if ever that you didn't hit the targets talaga for this assignment, at least we see how you see yourself. Yes. And that's very important. But of course, this workshop then, we are going to clear out also like what we are really looking for. And we actually picked some videos out of all the submissions whom we feel really hit the spot and ready na sila talaga to like post it on social media or their social media platforms. So our goals are to share your journey as a Binibini in all its highs and lows. Later on, we will show some videos of your Binibini sisters na we feel like naikwento nila lahat ng to because it's really something to be proud of. And second one is to break the stereotype of perfection. Ito actually yung talagang in-emphasize namin in this workshop because now more than ever, perfection has been redefined already. It's not being perfect talaga, but vulnerable and relatable at the same time, so that you can inspire more people to go on a journey to find their best selves as well. And of course, bottom line is to define what it means to be a Filipina today on your own terms. And you do that by using your story.
It's really important that we all understand and also personify what it means to us to be on this platform, because at the end of the day, being a Binibini is to represent something. So the question to ask ourselves is, what do we represent? Now, when usual people, not even us per se, but maybe the people in our circles, people on our social media, our audience, have a perception of what a beauty queen is, what a Binibini is, what a beauty pageant is. Yes. But it's really important that we take the reins of what the definition is. In other words, it's up to us to redefine what pageantry is. So it's ever evolving. You could look back at pageantry in the last 10 years or even 2 years ago and see that it is constantly changing. And I personally feel it's because our audience is becoming smarter, they're knowing what to expect, and they're really demanding what to see. For me, I believe that's authenticity. They want to see women who feel real. Yeah. And so that's also a challenge in itself in putting ourselves out there on social media because, of course, we want to tell a story in an authentic way. It sounds simple, but there's a few ways that we want to teach you on how you could properly tell your story.
Yeah, and this is also our Binibining Pilipinas frustrations from before. Now, Kat and I love to talk a lot, and feeling namin parang gusto namin na sana mas madaming tanong tinatanong sa amin before. Sa interview questions, I could say so much more. So we created this platform not just for promotions lang. We wanted to really be an in-depth perspective for you girls, and kayo talaga mismo magtatell ng story because syempre, as Kat said, it's ever evolving and we are even more empowered today, now more than ever.
Yes, exactly. So it's a very exciting thing that we have the opportunity to have a voice heard. Although it does come along with a lot of hesitation, a lot of fear. Are we saying the right things? This is the right thing to say. Is it the right time to say it? So there's a lot of navigating involved too. So today in our lesson, we're revolving around this medium of social media and also giving you tips on how you could accurately tell your story, what you're passionate about, what your journey is, your challenges, in a way that feels very true to yourself, but also giving you the keys to be an effective speaker and give an effective message that'll stay with your audience long after you've posted, to spark that conversation.
Yes, and heads up lang girls, because of course, yung tone mo in social media, we won't teach you a template here. We would not want you to follow strict rules either, but we will teach you to identify the current pulse, the current mood of our country or the world, para lang alam natin kung what we need to say at a certain time. Because until now, I feel like I'm still learning kung ano yung dapat kong i-post on social media, especially because nag-iiba na yung mga platforms natin. Before, it was just Twitter and Facebook. Now there's Instagram and TikTok, diba? Why not? We can be so creative with all these platforms. Pero now kasi we want to emphasize what it means to be a binibini, because we are a binibini first before we are ourselves. But in this activity as well, with personal branding, you could parang you have a bigger platform, not just speaking as a binibini, but you as a binibini. Before, parang feel ko number lang talaga kami. Yeah. Kasi medyo mas limited yung platform. Yes. But now, at least you will get to represent yourself.
Yes, I completely agree. Like there's a saying, it's not the title that makes the girl, but the girl that makes the title. So we really want to hone in on what your unique voice is. And if you could see on the last point, it's a question that I would like for you all to just answer for yourselves. If you could define a new era of binibini, what would that look like, or what would that entail? So, because pretty much, and I know Nicole agrees with this, being a binibini, that's a job title. Mm-hmm. Just as being a Miss Philippines is a job title, being an international title holder is a job. And so what would that job look like to you if you could define it yourselves? And I hope that you could find your answer on those, because it'll really allow you to see what is your vision in this role. Yan. So this is really a slide just so that you could really put your performance at the level that is a visionary one, to really put yourself in the shoes of thinking, I want to do this at the level of representing our country, because that's the end goal for all of us here. Why is it that we do this? It's because it gives, for me naman, in my journey, it gave a larger weight to everything that I did. It's like every video, every post, every plan, every vision that I had, it had the weight of, I'm representing a whole country. And that's how I want you girls to really see yourselves as you start to create these tasks, these assignments, these videos that you will put out on your platform. In representing the country, you're an ambassador. You're not only an ambassador of Binibining Pilipinas, you're not only an ambassador of you and your family and your community, but you also become the ambassador of a whole country. With that comes a lot of responsibility, but it also comes with a very unique perspective.
No biggie.
That you can really tell the story of our country and how you envision it. Out of every single girl that is in the international competition, you have an advantage, and that is you are the only Miss Philippines. But it should go beyond the national costume. And that's a challenge that I would like to give all of you girls, because people in the world deserve to know what the Philippines is more than beautiful beaches and a Filipiniana. What's the point of wanting to consciously focus on representing the Philippines? Because it makes the journey more than you. And that is a beautiful thing to stand with on a stage, is that pride in your country. And so I really implore you to do that and to ask yourself, what legacy do I want to leave as a Miss Philippines? How will people look back? Because sa totoo lang, the length of a competition is just a few months. The length of a reign is a year. But you want to leave something that's going to be memorable for years to come. For the future generations of Binibinis to look back and really admire and look up to what you left behind. So here we're going to actually show video submissions from your Binibini sisters that me and Nicole picked for different reasons. And we're going to go through these reasons, and there's 5.
So the first video belongs to...
Hi everyone, this is Hanibe Parañas, 22 years old, your Binibini 40 from the province of Sultan Kudarat. I am one of those lucky children who grew up with their grandparents because at
Kasi si Honey got to frame it na, okay, these are the only things I want to show in this video. Kasi there's a tendency din na for you to want to tell your entire life story and your advocacy and your binibini journey. Pero she picked the ones that she wanted to highlight lang. And kung napansin nyo rin, di ba, there are other videos na may mga iba-ibang frame, iba-ibang location, but si Honey only picked yung sa farm lang, sa backyard lang, and that's the concept itself. Because yung kay Honey, di ba, parang it was really, since she spoke about her advocacy, but she didn't super focus on that only. Parang she told her life story first, and then yung advocacy parang medyo in passing na lang siya. Yeah. And also it was so simple, but she knew, Honey, are you here ba? She knew that, yun lang talaga siya. Like, gusto ko lang magtanim sa backyard ko, and wala na yung big words like, the world now is in need of, di ba, is starving. Yeah, it's really just really simple, and it to serve to you lightly. Yes. Diba? Feel good siya.
Exactly. And after watching it, we got a sense of who Honey is. Yeah. And I completely agree with Nicole. When you talk about your advocacy, girls, you don't have to make it this grand scheme of things. Like, it can be something simple of, why do you care about it? Because I grew up doing that. And then maybe when I got older, I started to realize that it makes me happy and it contributes a little bit to my family, to providing for them. It doesn't need to be this save the world, save the children type of magnitude. It needs to come across genuine, and sometimes in a genuine way, it's something small and lighthearted.
The difference also from the other videos is, even though it was a sad thing, yes, in the beginning, Honey wasn't sad. And you know na, this is a woman who already conquered her challenge.
And it gives you, it inspires you, because she's so strong to have gone through that loss and yet have such a positive disposition. So even in an audience, she didn't have to say that. She just showed it. It was more of a show than a tell. Yeah. So it was a really nice thing to watch. And she, like just as Nicole said, it wasn't super in-depth. It just touched enough to put the story together, and we're taken on a little bit of a journey of who Honey was, and that's why we both liked it.
Next video.
Hi, I am Loison Badando. I am Binibini number 3 from Marikina CP. So I'll just jump right into it since this is not really about award advocacy. So number 1 is I love shopping. Kasi when back in college, every time I study, ginagabi na ako, inuumaga na ako, and then I'll just hear shopping sa likod, and that's when I know it's actually 2 a.m. already. And I guess I carried it with me until now. It just became my happy place, my comfort space whenever I feel down, and I just tune into the random videos, and immediately my mood lifts up, and it serves as like my nostalgia area. So secondly is I deflect technology. I am not a social media person. I am far and beyond from what you would call someone who engages in social media, because for me it's really hard to grasp it. But I guess it's an advantage, obviously, to some level, to most people. But for me, I'd actually rather live in the simpler times back in the 70s or 80s when TV and telephones are their major form of social media, and their only form of entertainment is actually books, which is one of my hobbies to do. I love reading books. But obviously in the pageant world, you really need social media. That's why during the quarantine, it was an opportunity then for me to study social media. So I guess I'm progressive in a way, but again, I'd rather live back then when times were so much simpler and quieter. So also the part of the reason why I joined Binibining Pilipinas is because I won Miss Marikina. So I told my mom before, pag hindi ako nanalo ng Miss Marikina, I don't think I would really join any national pageants, because I have to support my family, especially financially, and pageantry obviously isn't the way or the answer to that. So yon. But fortunately enough, I won Miss Marikina. So I don't know if I just got lucky or if that was like a universe answering me for a path. But either way, I'm actually really happy to have joined this batch, because most of the girls are really nice. And since actually another fact is I do suck at making friends and talking to people, so for them to be my friends, they're just really inviting for me to be able to make friends with them. And also the activities are surprisingly fun. So yon. Thank you for listening for me. Oh, bonus one, I love playing with balisong. My lolo taught me that. So yun lang. Thank you for listening to me. I don't know if this is just like a test for speech or mannerism, but either way, I hope something retained with your minds watching these things about me. So yun, thank you for listening.
Mabuhay! Kamusta po kayo lahat? I hope you're all safe, well, and happy. I'm Vicky Marie Milagrosa Rushton, your Binibini 36 from Talisay City, Negros Occidental. My life has always been an open book since I joined a reality show in 2014. And some of you already know that I have a one-of-a-kind life story and family. So let me start with my name. Milagrosa is my third name, not my middle name. Milagrosa because I'm a miracle baby. I was born 7 months premature and without a heartbeat. And I was also diagnosed to have Down syndrome, and my mom was advised to abort me. But my mom decided to go home and continue with her pregnancy. That's why I'm here. I have a brother with Down syndrome. His name is Kian, and I love him so much. And my mom lost her eyesight 14 years ago. I was in high school then, and sadly she wasn't able to see me on stage. It was in the year 2009 when I started joining pageants, and kahit isa noon, hindi niya napanood or hindi niya ako nakita. So, my childhood wasn't really that happy. When my mom lost her eyesight, it felt like it's the end of the world for me as well. And it is something that I am still in denial of. Parang hindi ko tanggap hanggang ngayon na ganun. Na parang sobrang dami nakakanood sa akin, nakakakita. Pero yung sarili kong mommy, hindi ako nakikita at napapanood. So my childhood wasn't really that easy. I was bullied for many things. I was bullied for having a blind mom, for having a brother with Down syndrome, for having an old dad, and for many other things. And it felt like I was bullied for everything about me, and I didn't understand why. And it wasn't easy. So if you have been bullied or harassed, I hope you have someone you can talk to. Please don't keep it to yourself, because you are not alone. You are strong. And my message to the bullies, I hope you choose to speak the kind words, because words can be weapons and it can really affect a person's life just how it affected mine. Growing up, it wasn't easy. So I hope you choose to spread love and kindness, because that's what the world needs.
Okay, so for our second tip, make it personal. So as you can see, for Binibini number 3, yung mga personal fun facts niya lang, it was really light. When we were watching it, we were like, oh my God, oh Shopping Network. Yeah, so parang we remembered her as in until today.
Yeah.
And then kay Vicky naman, it was more heavy.
Yeah. Very vulnerable, and it takes a certain amount of courage to be that vulnerable on a platform. And we're not saying if you're not comfortable with that to really share that with the public, because if it's not comfortable for you, then by all means don't do it. But if there is a personal thing that you've overcome, in sharing it on your platform, you may allow someone else to see themselves in you and to see how you overcame it. And it gives them hope, one, that they're not alone, and two, that it can also be overcome for them. Because it's just, it's quite different takes. And I hope that you girls will see it that reiterating the point, we're not looking for a formula. We're not looking for this type of video, this type of message. We really want the you to come out.
Real talk, girls. A lot of you tried to talk about something personal, but yung screenip nyo siya in such a way na you still have your walls up. Na hinugot nyo lang from the experiences of others. And for me, kasi if you're gonna share something that personal, you have to go all in, like what Vicky did, for example. Because it's still a defense mechanism. Pero I'll show you a way later on how to navigate around that in such a way na you still find your comfort zone. Pero ako yung take ko, if you're gonna share it, go all out. Don't hold back. Don't use someone else's words.
Because it's always really nice when you make it personal that you actually give the audience something that they can take home with them from your story. And through your personal perspective, that's what makes it something very unique. And it makes it real because you walk through it, and this is what worked for you. So that's what we really encourage you girls to do. Next video for our third point.
Hi everyone, this is Kimberly Tikas Tikas, your Binibining 19 from Bulacan. Now I want to share to you my story, my own personal experience, and I hope that I will inspire you. Not everyone knows I am from a broken family. Nagstay ako, kasama ko sa bahay si Papa at yung dalawa ko pang kapatid. Bali ako po yung panganay sa amin. So, at a very young age of 16, nag-start na ako mag-work. Yes po, 16. Though hindi pa siya legal age para mag-work. Kasi hindi naman halata dahil matangkad nga po ako. So, ayun nga. Nag-work ako sa isang fast food chain dito sa bayan namin. At the same time, nag-aaral po ako. Rumarakit po ako ng mga modeling stints, mga ushering sa Manila, and sa mga kalapit na provinces sa Bulacan. And then, at the same time, nagpa-pageant pa din tayo. Siyempre, push dapat yung pangarap, diba? So, yun. Na kahit na ano yung pinagdaanan mo sa buhay, kailangan patuloy kang lumaban. Kasi, yung laban na to ngayon, hindi na lang sa'yo sa pamilya mo, lalo tigil dun sa mga kapatid ko, na dahilan kung bakit talaga ako nagpupursige sa buhay ko. So, yun nga, nag-working student ako for almost 3 years siya. Nag-start ako ng second year college. Nag-stop lang po ako nung mag-OJT na ako. Kasi bilang estudyante, ang pinaka-importante sa'yo is yung OJT mo. Kasi yung magiging basis kung ka-graduate ka or hindi So, ako, binigay ko yung buong pagkatao ko, yung time ko, and yung dedication ko dun sa OJT ko para makagraduate ako. And thankfully, yun nga, nakagraduate naman ako, and yun, after kong nakagraduate, hindi na muna ako nag-apply kasi gusto ko i-pursue yung dream ko na maging beauty queen. So, this last January, sumali ako sa Binibining Bulacan, and luckily, nanalo ako. I got the title, and I joined Binibining Pilipinas, and now I am one of the candidates of the most prestigious pageant in the country. So, nakaka-overwhelm siya na though may pinagdaanan kang hindi maganda ng mga nakaraan sa buhay mo, patuloy pa din yung blessing ni God sa'yo, patuloy pa din yung mga pagtupad mo sa pangarap mo, basta patuloy ka lang din kumapit at manalig kay God, kasi walang imposible sa Kanya. So, yun nga guys, na during this time of pandemic, alam ko na lahat tayo hindi handa dito. Walang taong handa. Kasi hindi naman natin expected to So, March 15, nag-start yung lockdown. March 19, nagkaroon ako ng hindi magandang pakiramdam. So, kinonta ko yung municipal health namin. And then, nilagay nila ako or sinabi nila na PUI daw ako kasi nga may travel history ako sa Manila. Kasi since Binibini Day 1, uwian ako from Cubao to Bulacan and vice versa. So, apakalaki ng risk na magkaroon ako ng sakit or ng virus. So, yun. During that period, ang laki nung kalaban ko. Mula March 19 to April 15, ang laki ng struggle kasi yung virus, yung pandemic na to, hindi lang yung katawan mo yung inaatake niya, hindi lang yung immune system mo, kundi yung pag-iisip mo at yung faith mo kay God. Kasi mapapatanong ka talaga, bakit ako? Anong mali? Parang ganun, diba guys? So, yun, thankfully naman, nandyan yung family ko, mga kaibigan ko, yung mga nagmamahal sa akin, na i-remind nila ako na, yun, maging okay din lahat. And thankfully, naging cleared ako as PUI. So, yun nga. Another na kinaharap natin is, kailangan natin ng income. So, paano ako magkakaroon ng income? So, yun nga, naisip ko po na magtinda. Yes, I am proud to be tindera. Nagtitinda po ako ng mga fish balls, kikiam, and other street foods. Actually, hindi na siya bago sa akin Kasi way back high school, nagtitinda na talaga ako tuwing summer vacation. Kasi yun, kailangan ko ng income. Siyempre, pastime na din before. But now, more an income talaga kasi gusto kong makatulong sa pamilya ko. Nabili yung pangangailangan, lalo't naubos yung ipon dahil din sa mga nag-PUI ako ang daing gastusan. So, yun. Kailangan guys, marunong tayong dumiskarte sa buhay. Kailangan patuloy tayong lumaban at huwag tayong susuko. Kailangan nating magtulong-tulong para malagpasan natin to. Let's always remember, this pandemic has changed a lot of things to us. But one thing will remain, and that is we are not alone. We have our family, we have our friends, and most importantly, we have God with us. So I hope that I inspired you guys with my story. Bye!
There you have it, Tikas Tikas. So, yun yung naalala ko the surname, Tikas Tikas. And it's like, parang kausap ko lang siya when I was watching it. Alam mong walang script na binabasa off of it, and you really don't need it. And what Kat and I really liked about your video as well was, yung flow niya, it was a gradual build-up. Yes. And it was, walang gimmick or anything, pero you gave us a full story.
But also lessons that
Yeah.
you learned through it. In going through all of those challenges, you also gave the audience or the listener something to take away, which is what we just mentioned earlier. And it was a very, even though ang daming pinagdaanan, so many things that she went through, it wasn't heavy to listen to. It was very uplifting, and that was something that we really enjoyed from the submission.
Nothing beats seeing a woman who is happy, confident, and secure with what she already has. Yung hindi na kailangan, sometimes kasi nahalata if you kind of fake a happy ending to your story. And it's okay if you're still not over it.
Yeah, it's
I can
okay
relate more
if
to
you
that.
tell a story. And of course, we always throw words like confidently, empowered, inspired, uplifting. But it's totally okay to tell your story. And maybe you're talking about being bullied, and you're saying, you know what, it took me a really long time to not give power to the narrative in my head, or not give power to what people would say about me. And you know what, I'm still not there. I still have days that I still fall back on those hard times when I still see myself through that way. But I'm working on it one small step at a time. Like, you don't have to say, and I learned to love myself and I never look back. Because sa totoo lang, no one really gets there, right? And it's very, very empowering to show people that you are a work in progress, because we're not aiming for perfection, but rather for progress. And we're hoping that through your message, you can show people how to make small progress of their own, either through telling your story or imparting them with lessons that you yourself have learned through your personal experience.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're ready for the next video.
Yes.
If you have watched the documentary from CNA Channel News Asia, you may know me as the girl from the documentary, or some of you may confuse me with the famous, amazing, and beautiful actress Christine Reyes. Joke lang, just kidding. But anyway, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mercedes Fair, Binibining number 34, the only candidate representing Cebu in Binibining Pilipinas 2020. Mama nako taga Cebu, pero ako natawo sa Hong Kong. Kada summer kung ma-holiday mi, muuli jud mi sa Cebu or sa Pilipinas tungod sa paborito nako nga pagkaon, parihas sa tortang talong, laing, lauoy, labi na jud nang kanang halo-halo, lami jud kaayo. Na ako'y gusto i-share sa imong tanan. Coming from a multi-ethnic family, self-identity had been an issue since I was young. I was insecure as I was perceived as different in school. I was the only non-Chinese speaking student, and I looked different from the others. I was told not to talk about my nationality, not to get tanned, because people might look down on me, and it's not good for my career. However, through years of traveling, having different life experiences, and exchanging ideas with people of different backgrounds and nationalities, I realized that it's not our skin, not our birthplace, nor our nationalities that define who we are. It's what we do and who we want to become that matters. If I can talk to my younger self back then, I would say, no matter what you do, people may have different opinion, people may judge you, and telling you what you should or you shouldn't do. Despite all different voices, it's more important if you find what suits you best. Make the choices that you won't regret. Life may throw different challenges at you, but it just means you're being tested to tackle greater tasks. Just don't lose hope and stay passionate about life. Surround yourself with people who loves you, who supports you, and who truly cares about you. If I'm able to share my story, I would like to share this message to the younger generations who are having self-doubt. Focus on what you really like and who you want to become. If you truly love and are passionate about something, you'll find ways to make things work. Learn to analyze and identify what's good and bad. Be aware of the voices that you listen to. Choose to create your opportunities and be aware that you do have choices. If people say you're different, say yes, you're extraordinary.
So this time, our next point will focus on the structure. So medyo technical muna tayo because yung ginawa ni Mercedes, parang she wanted to tell so much about herself and that could be really messy. But then she chose this concept that made it cohesive and easy to follow because sometimes there are other videos sa point A, B, Z, T, R, Q, S, T, ganon, before and then back to point A. So it's good that you have this thought flow and you have to consider also always yung audience mo, like how they will hear it. Kasi sometimes when we talk, we get ourselves, but we have to cater to the understanding of everyone. So you have to make it organized. And I would stand by this, na effective storytelling requires organized thoughts.
Yes, I know that we're no strangers of seeing an answer being said where a girl could have been more effective if she just stopped at a certain point. Yeah. But instead, she kept going because she didn't really know where to stop. It's like that when it comes to structure with an answer. It's very, very important, girls. Also in talks, in videos, anything that requires communication, you need a beginning, middle, and end because you need to also allow your audience to follow along your train of thought. And that's just how it is. Sometimes when you're composing on the spot, even me, my mind will go into different places. So it's always good to go into what you're going to say, already knowing in mind where you're heading. So when it comes to your talk, if you feel like you have more of a tendency to be lost when you're composing, because we are encouraging you girls not to use a script for these exercises.
And we can tell, by the way.
Yes, we can. And we want to challenge you. It's not for you to be an expert at memory. Rather, we're encouraging you to have talk points. Talk points means bullet points that outline the main topics or the main sections of your talk that you can maybe glance down at and then know where you are and continue talking. This is really what we encourage you to get to the point of because there is no point in memorizing, girls. Also because on the theme of authenticity, we will feel when it's coming from a genuine place of experience, of your inner beliefs, your values, and that allows it to come naturally from you rather than you memorizing because we see it in the body language, we see it in the facial expression, and it dampers your genuine feel and your authenticity. And that's really what we want you girls to really excel in, being authentic, being genuine to yourselves. And so that's why an outline of your talk points is so important.
Yeah, and I would say this now as the strict teacher that I am. Yung mga pasok na videos today sa amin were 3 to 5 minutes long only. Anyone who went beyond that, you really lost our attention na at that point. And we just diligently had to watch it till the end so we can give you feedback. But really, it wasn't effective for us anymore. So that is why you need to, we're not giving out these instructions just because we feel like it. It's because you need to master that skill. There. So there's a purpose.
To think of it in a practical way, sa Q&A naman, 30 seconds to a minute at most for a final word. Closed door interview, 3 minutes, 5 minutes at most to make an impression. Interviews, allocated time pa rin. So it's really something that we need to teach you girls how to be effective, to get your point across, to communicate well in a specific allotted amount of time because that is the practicality of it. We're in a world where information is digested very quickly and even when it comes to putting out messages on your social media, people's attention span is also quite limited. So as Nicole reiterated, we need to allow you to get across your main point, to hook in your audience in the first minute at least. If they're not enticed to listen further, then we failed as an effective speaker. And so that's why structure is also important. That's why an introduction is important because it leads into your middle but hooks your audience in enough to allow them to stay.
Now for our last video.
Wenceslao Village. This is where the people affected by the Mount Pinatubo eruption resettled. Our resettlement community is part of Social Action Center of Pampanga Resettlement Development Program, created as a venue for calamity survivors to eventually own a house and lot in a safe area and environment. This is my humble community. This is where I live. This is Sharina Joy Lagmangyao, Binibining Pilipinas candidate number 26, and this is my home.
Hi! Welcome to my home! Tara! Malaos ka po! Don't expect too much dahil simple lang yung bahay namin and simple pamumuhay lang yung meron ako. And so, as you can see here, dito linalagay ni Mama yung mga pictures ko. Ayan, yung evolution ko, nandyan siya. And we are waiting for the college toga picture ko pa. Kasi third year college student pa ako here at Pampanga, taking a Bachelor of Science in Social Work at Don Honora Ventura State University. And yan, yung mga Certificate of Academic Excellence, Diploma, and eto, mga medals na sentimental talaga sa akin dahil eto lang yung maibibigay ko kina Mama nung bata pa ako, diba? So ngayon, right here naman is yung mga sachets na nakukuha ko. As you can see, walang masyadong minor or major, ay may mga minor or special awards. Kasi hindi ako ganong klaseng candidate. Kaya medyo kinakabahan ako kapag announcement na ng top 10 or top 5 kasi baka hindi ako mapasok. Pero luckily, minsan nagtatitle pa rin. Kaya ganun kong nag-doubt sa sarili ko na baka hindi ako makapasok sa Binibining Pilipinas. But then, I'm here. I did it. I'm so proud of myself. Si Mama and Papa, let me share this photo of them to you guys. So, ito yung wedding picture nila. Ayan, ayan. Sabi nila, mas kamukha ko daw si Mama. Sabi naman ng iba, mas kamukha ko daw si Papa. So, and syempre, kung meron tayong sachets, meron din yung mga kapartner na crowns and trophies na nandito. Yan. Meron ako mga iba't ibang klaseng crowns. Ito, meron sa mga school pageant, mga barangay pageant. That's where I started. And this is my crown from Binibining Florida Blanca. Ayan. And it's my second year reign dahil nga sa COVID. Pero how I wish na ipasa ko na siya sa magiging new queen. And by the way, Binibining Florida Blanca give me the chance to represent their municipality in the Binibining Kapampangan. And I ended as a top 10 finalist there. And now, let's go to my room. Salagay. So, ayan, this is my room. Nandito ako sa room ko, parang meron akong sarili kong mundo. Kasi parang mas nakikita ko yung self ko and I'm just alone. So, here, ayan yung mga bags ko. Camera, bag, laptop. Ayan. I want you all to know my best friend, guys. This is my bed. And it's my best friend. Kasi napakahilig ko talagang matulog. And also, gusto ko sa room ko is madilim. Kahit na morning, guys, gusto ko madilim siya. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, pero mas comfortable ako sa ganung klase. Ganito siya kadilim kapag walang ilaw. So, tignan niyo. So, ayan, nakikita niyo pa ba ako? Yan, I'm back. Diba? So, ayan, ganun siya kadilim. So, ayan, tapos na tayo sa room ko, guys. Tara, labas tayo ulit. Uling proud ko na yung magre-represent yung Pampanga. Dakal pa mga na makahapag ka na. Ngayon, itakmanta naman yung house ng dangado kong babi. Kanyaman! Happy ni Pantunan ko kapag ala ko kati Pampanga. Manyaman mamangan kayong fast food, during restaurants, pero happy ni Nitang, wala man din talagang sariling panlasa po pang timpling metong Kapampangan. Lalo na yung makuha gaga nakagay kapag mamangan bukinwal, diba? Tapi, speaking of my mom and my dad, ikitso naman nung makanano kami kung kasimple family ede, everything that I do, kahit anong papasukin ko sa buhay ko, gagawin ko to dahil gusto ko para sa mga magulang ko at gusto ko matupad yung pangarap ko. Not just for myself, but also para sa mga taong naniniwala din sa akin. I hope you like this simple video that I made and I hope na nagustuhan nyo at nakilala nyo pa ako lalo, guys. And shout out to all of my kabalens out there. Please support me on my Binibining Pilipinas journey. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Always keep safe. I am your Binibini 26, Sharina Joy Lagmangyao, metong atutong malugodanak at metong aloy na Kapampangan.
And that was our last pick for today. Congratulations, girls. So why did we pick that video? Because I want every girl here to find joy in telling your story. What I liked from that video was walang script. Mapapansin nyo, talagang it's just a house tour. Oo, kwento lang. Tapos parang mafe-feel mo na yung energy niya, super positive lang.
Just to touch on the point that we mentioned right at the beginning, in representing your country, just through showing her dialect, her food, Kapampangan cuisine, the audience got a little bit of a taste of something of the Philippines. And that's just a small way that you can integrate pride in your country to your audience. It doesn't have to be hard sell.
And it didn't look staged.
Exactly. It was really just really nice. We were welcomed into your life and into your home, and also you glimpsed your personality, which was really nice, and it was just lighthearted. So girls, thank you for taking time out of your day today. Again, thank you for the girls who are here 1 p.m. sharp. We super appreciate it. Other than that, I hope that you all are okay in your personal situations. At home, I know that we're all going through a lot of different things, but I really hope that being able to allocate time to learning something new through this course is something that really uplifts your spirits. And also remember, you're all there for each other. Like you are a community in itself of all your Binibini sisters, and you know exactly what each of you are going through. So I do encourage you to reach out to each other, maybe just your friends within the group. Just check in on each other. It can mean a lot talaga if someone might be going through something that's really, they're uncertain, they're unsure. Just having a friend to reach out and say, hey, are you okay? How are you? Let's have a catch up. It means a lot. So I really encourage you girls to do that.
Yes. And to conclude the workshop, good job, girls. Don't be disheartened if your Ate Kat and I gave you a lot of comments. We gave a lot of comments to everyone just because this activity is really time-consuming already in itself. So we want to give you a lot of feedback so that you can already improve on it immediately. Because one good tip for joining a pageant, girls, is hindi siya sa you're super perfect na at once. It's more of how fast do you learn. Yung learning curve mo from this activity talaga. So really do take in our comments and notes and revise it properly. But thank you so much for opening yourselves up to us, for trusting us also in sharing your personal issues and just sharing things about yourself. We feel really lucky to have been able to get to know you girls, and I'm so glad that this workshop is already very deep in itself. Like feeling ko sobrang immersion na siya for all of us. So keep up with the good work. We're not here to tell you that you're perfect, but we are here to make sure that you become better after each session.
Yes, if there's a special award that we all want to aim for, it's Miss Most Improved, okay?
Yes. And don't forget to delight in yourself, to celebrate who you are, because you are already amazing, beautiful. So claim that for yourselves and include that in your video.
And you all deserve to be here. You are all Binibinis. You are all part of the legacy, and that is something to be super, super proud of. So we will see you guys next time. Good luck in your submissions for I Am Binibini. We love you all, sending you all hugs. And yeah, see you soon. Bye!